Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome into Zelda Speedruns. Today we've got game 2. Gosh, I can't even talk. Of the Skyward Sword Randomizer Season 3 tournament. This is the losers bracket round 2 race between Kitcot and Sledge. Tracking today are Cube David and Vibrant Viola, and here commentating alongside me is Snacks. How are you, Snacks?
I'm doing great, G-Devil. You know what? I'm excited to see this race. A lot of people are kind of weird to see it only this early in the tournament, just considering both runners are pretty high seeds, but
yeah, so kind of how we got here was Kitcot had kind of a disaster, lost his first round race against Cine, and then won his losers round first round. And then Sledge is the 4 seed. He raced Your Average Link, who was the Season 2 champion in the second round. So, like, not, like, yes, it was, a seed line upset, but I think not, like, necessarily some massive surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Kitcot being here is definitely more of the surprise. But the top 9 or so racers were all fairly close. So, I think this will be a good race.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Game 1 was yesterday. Unfortunately, we could not get a restream together for it. But Sledge took it, so he is up 1-0. So if Sledge wins, he moves on to the next round and Kitcot is eliminated. If Kitcot wins, they go on to game 3, which is next Wednesday. Any dungeons you want to see today?
I'm a weirdly, I really do love me a good mining facility seed, but we'll see how this looks.
Yeah, one of the memes of this season was LMF has not shown up a lot. And we've got a gorge start with Skyview, Earth Temple, and Sandship.
Okay.
And the whip. We get our Baron hints here. Sky is barren. Linearu Caves. Yeah, that's a pretty typical one.
Mm-hmm.
And Skyloft Village. So kind of small barren regions today.
Honestly,
sorry, did not mean to interrupt you.
Honestly, I could barely read that hint because both runners saw it and immediately closed it out. But
that was the Cheston Shack in Linearu Sansi.
Gotcha.
It was dead. So we'll probably see both the runners do a quick loop for hints in the sky. But with the Linearu start, we might also see the runners actually go back down, because this is the one region where... So your starting spawn is not the first statue that you have access to. And basically any other statue in Linearu is going to give you a lot of checks to do. So there's definitely some runners, like, I would usually go and check. Meanwhile, Sledge dousing the sky, I think, forgot that it was hinted barren here. I see Elden Volcano to Tenellis.
Okay.
It's too early to know. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tenellis, quite a few, or not a ton, but
yeah, I mean, it's claw shot.
Options.
It could be claw shot. It could be C chart. It could be... Okay, and that was Beatrice Crystal's dad.
Nice.
So that will... The runners might have delayed getting the hint on Bamboo Island to kind of route in some of the Beatrice conversations, but with that hint, I think we're going to see them both just go grab the Bamboo Island hint right away. Maybe not.
Kitcot's just going to head to Skyloft.
Yeah, I think Sledge is going to probably grab that hint.
I think he's headed over that way, yeah.
View here is in the sky, so I think we're just going to see kind of the full Skyloft trick.
Okay, mitts.
When we get Eldon access, that's going to be really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as Cube David says, mitts early is pretty nice.
Looks like we pinged something back here.
Yeah, if you have not watched a lot of Skyward Sword, we do not have chess type matches contents, but we have what is called chess dowsing matches contents. So you use the in-game dowsing, and if something pings, it has a potential progress item.
Mm-hmm.
Could be really useful, could be your 5th bottle.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the issue with all of these, like, chess size matches contents. Okay, it's gust jar action there on the Sledge's side.
Yeah. Unfortunately, does not unlock... Skyloft Village is dead, so the check it unlocks is actually not useful at all.
Yeah, unfortunately no LMF either, so...
Yeah, I mean, Gust Bellows in this seed only are going to unlock 1 check. Potentially 2. There's some weird sandship shenanigans, but...
I will assume that is probably not going to be progression.
Yeah. And we don't have access to get into sandship. We'll probably have a bow before then. But,
most likely.
Upper Skyloft has the Ruby tablet, so...
Okay. That's good to know for sure.
Yeah. With the items that they have, these runners are going to be able to full clear Elden Volcano.
Yeah.
Not logically, but...
These guys are good enough that they know how to... It'll be no problem for them to clear that out.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, Space Rock. There is a Bellows Lock check in Boko base. I always try and forget about that because it's...
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot that was a check.
But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna see them both check everything.
Yep.
And then Sledge just have some money, so I think he might check Beetle's shop, whereas Kitcot is not. If it has something really useful on one of the first 2, the 50 item or 100, that could be really good for Sledge. But other than that, like, basically, Kitcot is gonna go to the surface a little sooner than Sledge, but it's not going to be that far apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suspect Kitcot will just grab a couple checks here in cave and most likely head to Eldon.
Yeah, I think you go to Eldon before you go back to Laniru here.
For sure.
Yeah, and we see Sledge did not even douse that chest. He's fishing for some money in addition to progress items. If you get really unlucky, a seed can require you to do some rough things to get money.
Yep.
So, unlike almost every Zelda rando, there is not really a good, reliable way to grind money in Skyward Sword.
You like cutting bamboo, everybody?
No, nobody likes cutting bamboo. I got a seed where I had to. Poor Cinny. He didn't know how to play that mini game. It was rough.
Oh no, Cinny.
I ended up getting like a bad migraine mid-seed and DNFing, and he also DNF'd.
Ooh, yeah, that's a rough one. All right, so it looks like Kid is gonna head over towards Eldon. I guess okay, yes.
Which is worse, bamboo or fun? Bamboo, because bamboo cutting actually like physically hurts you.
At least the one perk of HD is at least it's a little bit easier on your arm just to like flick the stick,
Yes.
but yeah, swinging your arm back and forth, what, like 30 or 40 times each time you play it?
It hurts.
Yeah.
I imagine we are going to be talking in future seasons about what to do with Beetle's Shop because of that, but that is a separate issue.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this point I think Sledge not even gonna bother checking Beetle's Shop. So we're gonna see him get to Eldin.
Yep. I don't mind this play at all. I mean, you know,
I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You know Volcano's path, you might as well just go there.
Yeah. And again, with these items, when you can full clear it and
yeah,
also full clear Magma Turf, like,
why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
So far, though, nothing too interesting from Kit's side. At least
yeah, still ways to go.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if we'll see them take different routes through Eldin to full clear. Like Gold Rupee is going to be nice.
Oh yeah. Like you were saying, early game money in SSR is very annoying if you get unlucky, but
yeah.
So far this seed's been pretty nice.
Yeah,
a couple pretty big rupees early on, so
yeah, and you can see Sledge decided to climb the volcano instead of going back to the start. I don't know that one is faster than the other.
Honestly, I've never tested it in my very limited SSR experience.
I did not see what that was, but I think that was one of our always hints.
Something was, I think, a heart container or so.
Yeah, I think it was one of the always hints.
I don't remember. I don't think Kit has checked that, so we'll see it, I think, again on his side of the screen.
That is Colin's letter, one of our fetch quest items. But, I mean, that could be the path item, but I'm guessing it's one of the dig spots that we're about to see Sledge see.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a Sledge copy. Yeah, I think though so Sledge is an any percent runner, although so is Kitcot. Sledge does know the out of bounds clip here to go a little faster. That extra wallet is probably not our path item, but if we don't see anything else, I'm going to be scared.
Yeah, that could get real weird real quick. That's unfortunate.
That is the Gorge Jig spot had a bottle, which is not required. There's not a lot that's hard locked behind bottle. I think it's only 2 checks if Fire Sanctuary is... If Fire Sanctuary were in the seed, bottle could not be less than required, but...
Courage there for Kitcot.
Yeah. That is 2 wallets.
Game. Please no.
I'm getting very nervous now about
what is
the 800 item.
I was gonna say what's Beetle selling here?
Yeah. Yeah, and so we're gonna see Sledge do this trick where essentially, if you get collision from getting hit by the Boko at the right time, it knocks you out of bounds.
Not quite.
You have to kind of lure the Boko over and get the hit timed.
This trick is very precise. Not like super precise, but there you go.
There we go.
And now we can kind of just run up here and
Yeah, we really only have 2 more options for the path. Oh, Kit's not going to be happy about that.
that is such an
Because
annoying
that
spot.
bow would have made killing the Bokos faster.
Yeah.
I do think there's a chance actually Sledge will get that first before he goes and does the killing the Bokos. Because he might be thinking about warping to start out of here.
That would make sense for sure.
I did not see what was on Furor's Courage. I missed the hint for it. It's a sword and 2 other items.
Okay.
Was that a possibly required sword? Okay. And there is... Okay, that's our path item here.
Yeah. Got a little spooky there for a bit, but
Yeah, I mean... Wallet path should spook anyone. Although we had a qualifier where the wallet was the path item. I think it was qualifier 1. And I remember DMing Alka after. But I told him I was like, you're going to like this one.
what was Alka's official opinion afterwards?
I mean, it took him like 2 weeks to watch a week and a half to watch my video, so I don't remember.
Gotcha.
Sledge found Emerald Tablet on the dig spot in the hot cave, which is, I would say, is more likely than not our path item. Yeah,
I would.
Cave's key was in the first room. That could also be it. I will say the nice thing for Sledge, potentially, if money gets tight this seed, is he's going to have a couple gold rupees that he's going to skip because he's already full on cash.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to know there's that gold rupee there. There's a gold rupee up on somewhere else.
I forget exactly what check, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a freestanding one.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's 400 rupees right there that you can just
600.
Or 600, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a ton of really easy, real quick money that you can go grab.
Yeah. Again, you hope you don't have to, but it's much better than having to go play Thrill Taker. Oh, it was salt. Oh no, that's gold. Yeah.
No, mitts were I forget what check on Skyloft, but they were.
It
like,
was a
early.
chest by the goddess statue. They were.
Thank you.
They were basically free.
I think we started with whip as our starting item.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also, I think Sledge. So I think there was gratitude crystals on the Linear Gorge pillar. So like I think there's a decent chance that both runners warp to start out of here. Because that opens up a second check on Patro. You might just want to grab it. Well, Sledge is not going to get the bow first.
No.
Which I get.
Yeah, that's a very out of the way bow. I mean, not like
Yeah.
super out of the way, but
If the chest here in this room with the Bokos had something, it would be more worth it, I think, to just grab the bow and detour. But I mean, this makes sense. But Sledge kind of having a textbook kill of the Bokos. If you only have practice sword, the best thing to do is just alternate left slash, right slash to basically break the guard. You can technically use the shield also to shield bash, but
I would say 99% of runners that you're going to see are going to do left slash, right slash.
yeah. Oh, this chest did have... Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Sledge might kick himself when he gets the bow. Just to have made it a little faster.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight is obviously 2020, but thankfully that room's still easy enough to do, but it's just a little slower with the practice sword than... So Kitcot back up in the sky. Looks like we're just gonna do a couple checks in Skyloft, and I would assume probably head to Farron.
Yeah, I think Farron makes a ton of sense.
Yep, looks like we're gonna peek Beetle real quick.
Yeah.
Grab a couple extra other checks, and then...
Yeah, I think for Sledge, he's going to grab these crystals because he might think about going and checking Patro 5 and 10. Patro was not hinted Baron, so you might want to do it.
Alright, Beetle. What do we got for us today?
Oh, you know what that bottle not required does tell you is you don't have to do Orion Paro, which is pretty nice. So that spiral charge on 800 is jumped because Sky was dead. Okay, those claw shots are very useful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gorge Jigspot is in Logic but was hinted dead. And Sledge is also setting up a bit magic file for Sandship to potentially do Tendril Skip. But can also use that to save Scum. Although the only, I mean, he's not going to want to save Scum. Yeah. So there's nothing on any of the more expensive beetle checks. So the wallets are all unrequired items, which is useful to know when you go into Farron Trial. I actually think we might see both runners do the RBM to break into Farron Trial.
I could definitely see that.
It is one of the faster RBMs to do. You know there's nothing hard required there, but you may just want to go do it because it's almost as fast as just playing the harp if you know how to do it. And spawn on... It's funny, spawn on top of the Great Tree actually means those claw shots do nothing for you logically here in Farron. But I would not hate... Like, Farron makes sense. But with claw shots and hook beetle, Lineru is really not a bad idea. With claw shots, whip, hook beetle, logically you can clear. You can't full clear Sand Sea, but you can clear most of it. And then with Cave Ski and claw shots, you can actually do a lot of desert too. All of mine's like. That is a nasty scale location.
I wasn't gonna mention it, but yeah, it's pretty. I mean, thank God for the Deku Tree spawn, because otherwise, yeesh.
Well, logically, the game is actually expecting you to do that jump down. But you can claw shot up the tree pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have claw shots and you miss the jump, it gets pretty nasty.
Okay. I think that was Wisdom that was on.
Yeah. Oh, Sledge forgot to actually do the bird's nest check, so he's coming back here.
Oh no.
Yeah, both runners are playing on a Wii console or a Wii U, maybe.
Yeah.
Most Skyward Sword runners play on console.
You can play it on Dolphin Emulator. It's a bit annoying to set up, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, Dolphin works a lot better with Wii Motion Plus than it did years ago.
Yeah. No, when Skyward Sword Rando first came out, it was not pretty.
Yeah, Dolphin has improved a lot with the Wii Motion Plus emulation. Oh, that's brutal. So the Linear starting statue is actually the one in Gorge. So they are unlocked from the rest of Linearu, which means Sledge is about to go catch Kitcot.
Yep.
That does mean, however, this is not a bombless seed. Bombs are very hard required, not just logically. Yeah, the interesting thing with that, we've seen all of our always hints. At this point, every hint could be useful. Again, though, you're probably not going to see runners go out of the way. There's 2 hints in Volcano Summit that you likely won't see. Because Volcano Summit was barren.
Yeah. Unless we get to the point where we're so desperate, but I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So the game can. Yep. So the game can be run on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I don't know of anybody off the top of my head that runs it on Wii U.
I think Yal does. I think Jaznix might.
I was gonna say, I'm sure there's some runners that do.
I used to, but when I moved, my setup at home, it was just easier to have a Wii than a Wii U.
Gotcha.
On my desk, because my Wii is sitting behind my monitor on my desk that I use for work and other things.
There you go.
A little smaller.
Just fire up some SSR in the middle of work.
No.
Yeah.
That might get me fired.
Not with what you do.
Not in general. I would say don't SSR while you're supposed to be working.
Okay.
Ballad of the Goddess.
Oh,
so they are getting pretty bottlenecked.
Yeah. I mean, according to Kitcot's tracker, we have 14 locations, but these are not.
Does he really?
I'm not sure if he's just not been marking off checks, but.
Oh, Skyview.
Oh.
They don't really go into Skyview until they have the second sword.
Yeah.
That's a lot of checks, though, because with Scale and Mitt and Beetle, there is one check in Skyview you cannot do. That's actually probably the biggest reason. I think we could see Sledge break into the Farron trial here, because I think you might want to just get that sword and full clear Skyview.
Yeah.
It's going to be slow, but it is possible that there are 3 swords in Farron trial. Like, all we know is that there are 3 items that are possibly required. It could be 2 gratitude crystal packs. It at least can't be a wallet or a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be a beetle, it could be a bow, it could be a slingshot, it could be gratitude crystals, or it could be swords. And I think with how few checks you have left, and the fact that you want to clear Skyloft, like, it is maybe not the worst thing to just go into that trial. Trials are slow, but you're gonna have a pretty good reason to go into that trial at some point.
And like Space Rock said in chat, I think some of this is just the runners trying to greet out, like, hey, that, like you were saying, that Farron trial sword, it's super slow.
Yeah.
It's available, but not logically. But I mean, we're at the point now where you're like, okay, you have a few fringe checks here and there, but
yeah, I mean, we're gonna see Zelda's Closet. We're probably gonna see Bat 5 and 10. You can only do the 1 check in Thunderhead.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really, like, flying into Thunderhead is just kind of slow. Skyview is going to be the place that both of them end up going to.
Yes.
And you'd rather have a second sword before you go in. Yeah, we'll see Pippet's crystals.
Okay, that is...
Columns louder, but... And, like, Sledge is clearly thinking about going back into Farron from here because he did forwards Lake Floria.
Mm-hmm.
Which, all else being equal, is slightly slower, but if you want to go anywhere else in Farron, this is the way to do it. I have a feeling the runners are going to end up going into Farron trial no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're so bottlenecked at this point that you almost have to.
Yeah. There's Jaznix's favorite item.
Let's go, Bugnet. Woo!
But yeah, I mean, Kitcot's down to 11 checks accessible. Technically, only 3 things in Skyview will count because one of them has to be a small key to open it up, but Skyview is clearly the place to go.
Yeah.
Just in terms of check density. Especially with these items, you're on layer 2 of Skyview, which is even faster. And with claw shots makes it faster as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to kill the Stalfos. You can claw shot your way around.
Yeah, actually, Skyview, if somehow we do find a sword too before the trial one, actually probably would be one of the quicker Skyviews you could have.
Yeah. It looked like that hint was Skirvo's dead, which is a nice hint. Skirvo is a kind of slow, painful mini-boss.
Yes.
Not necessarily hard if you know the tricks to it, but can still troll you.
Yeah, and unfortunately there's not really a great way to speed him up. I mean, there's the trick to do it, but... Oh, there's our bomb bag.
Oh.
So that's Linearu.
Sledge is going to go do Linearu now, but Kitcot skipped that. he did not go to Sealed Grounds. Betrow 5 and 10 were junk. And with this, the entire Lanayru region, except for Sandship. Oh, that was a sword on Betrow.
Oh, yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
It's not exactly useless.
No.
But I still would prefer the bomb pick, just for pure number of like, okay, the entirety of Lanayru is now open to you.
Exactly.
And you're gonna go do those checks.
Yeah, I missed what that hint was that Sledge got. And that looks like, I don't know if that's the last chest. But we might have to see Sledge go all the way through the mine. Yeah, I mean, Kit is gonna eventually get bottlenecked into that pop bag. So, like, he will get it.
It's gonna be a very annoying moment for him because he was not right there, but...
Yeah, and, like, going to Sealed Grounds early never hurts because you... Even if Sealed Grounds is dead, you always want to get that statue for endgame.
For sure. Ping something here on...
Yeah, so it was 2 chests that pinged, I think.
Yeah. I didn't see the second, but...
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the one at the end, so... We're going to see Sledge go all the way through. With what Kit has, now going in full clearing Skyview makes all the sense in the world.
Absolutely. Okay, there's our...
Second Triforce.
Yep. I think that was power. Not that it matters all that much, but...
Yeah, I mean, we do get a Triforce hint.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, whether that hint is useful is a different question.
It's the beauty of Rando right there.
Yep. Thank you for. Yeah, and this is the first major divergence, so it's kind of nice to see. There we go.
Hey, look, there's a Triforce required in mines. Who would have thought about that? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this pays off for Sledge. Obviously, Kit's... This is kind of the more safe option, I guess you could say. Safe with air quotes. But also, Zelda randos are known for being a little stupid when it comes to...
Alright, so we've got this chest here on the left side. We'll check the dig spot. With Hook Beetle, he's not even gonna... The bit warp doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Because on this layer, there's a trick to skip the room. With the room before the boss key room. Yeah, Space Rock, I missed this about Sledge death warping, but where he was, it just makes sense to go and do all of desert this way and kind of end up back at caves. So you can kind of rotate counterclockwise. That is Secret Passageway, Sand Oasis. So a few chests, but that does put Betrow 30 in logic. Not that we're gonna see anyone go do it. Do 5 loose crystals for it, but just kind of a thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And as long as the 3 eyes chest doesn't have anything, this will be a really fast sky view.
Something up here?
It could just be our heart.
Or just start. Never mind.
Well, now Kitcot is probably going to do the fairy trial. Actually, I don't know that he will.
I could see him going either way with it.
Yeah, I would think about it as a slower player taking the risk to do it, because I would just think about the fact that, like, if it has multiple swords.
The thing is, you have 3 items that you have a guaranteed sword and 2 other maybe required items. So it's like,
yeah, and it is the fastest trial.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not fun, and very slow, but
yeah. But that sword could be hiding another sword or 2.
Yeah.
And you might decide, I'd rather just kind of take the risk and go do it than, like, last location the rest of the world. But that's a decision for later. Yeah, this is a really fast Skyview layout.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out of your way for a lot of chests. 3 eyes is dead. The vanilla boss key chest is dead.
No, this is definitely a... Also, as people have enjoyed it, yeah, it's pretty dead. I mean, we had the harp, and that's about it.
Which is not nothing, but...
Oh, for sure.
It is one of our required items.
And yes, of course, our mandatory H.
Yeah. This is also... It's a lot of gratitude crystals. Sledge might actually go to Betrayal before going back to Skyview. I don't know for sure.
I could see the logic behind it.
Just because now you can do 4 things. If you get another crystal pack, you can do 5 of the 6, and Betrayal 50 can get hinted.
I think, at least if it were me, I think it would honestly just come down to, do I find that loose pack of crystals that does get me to 50?
Or to 40.
Or 40, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, yeah, I think I'd probably do it, just because it's not exactly quick, but it's a good amount of checks for the minute or whatever it's going to take you to go get to him.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, Sledge is going to have a lot to do before he gets to that decision point, because he's going to go full clear Sansi as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
technically
not in logic, but you can get the 2 things that logically require quick beal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
there's a loose pack of crystals we were talking about.
Yeah.
So, definitely a decent chance that...
he hasn't checked Zelda's closet. He hasn't checked the turning in Colin's letter. Like, Sledge, I think, is kind of greeting to try and find a sword somewhere before he goes back to Skyview.
Don't get me wrong, we know where a sword is that he can very quickly go grab, but...
Greeting is the wrong word, because the bomb bag opened up an incredibly check-dense area.
Yes.
I probably will see him raise LMF, because we haven't gotten the hint for the chest on top of it. Coming back is slower.
Yeah, I think you at least check that real quick.
Yeah.
Well, looks like
45.
There's a chance we might just check 50 anyway while we're there.
Yeah, there's a very good chance Sledge is just going to get up to 50.
Yeah, I mean, he's got so many checks that he's going to be doing still.
Yeah, Kitcot is now about to go get his bomb bag. Because with Harp and Ballad, he can clear everything but Zelda's Blessing and Sealed Grounds.
Yep, so in the end, kind of not greedy, but actually was a little greedy.
Skyview does have a crystal pack, but the sword was on 5.
5?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, unless we find another sword, which, don't get me wrong, could happen. Odds are we're probably not gonna see Sledge check that.
Yeah, I mean, Sledge could also just go for the Pix theory, which is Batro is just going to give you a crystal pack, so check with 45. But we'll see. Now we get to see Kitcot's drawing skills. One of the hardest checks in the game. I say that very serious. Well, that is a required Gorko.
Yep.
Yeah, if you miss the first Gorko, it can be pretty bad.
Yeah, the arrow, it's...
The arrow is easy. The trick is to save before you do before you do Gorko, so you can just hard reset rather than having to. That was Din's power had a bow plus one other item, possibly required. So you're not going to go into that trial.
No.
Until you have to. Because we know it doesn't have a Triforce, the Earth Temple key piece, or the sea chart.
Yep, and at this point, that's a vast majority of all we really care about at this point.
Yeah. Could have a sword, but...
Very well.
Elden Trial, you greed out, because Elden Trial is not fun.
It sucks, yeah.
It's... In these settings, especially with Dusk Relic, it's the hardest to kind of just scout out things. Like, you kind of have to do a lot on the way. Or just get really greedy and hope you don't have to backtrack a lot. Oh, Sledge, get the statue. You really are going to want to get the statue, Sledge.
I was going to say, I don't think I saw Sledge grab that at all.
That grabbing statues in this game is a lot more important than people remember sometimes.
Sledge, no.
Because he's probably going to have to go work to start to get back here for Sand Chip, which is like a solid minute of time loss.
Yeah, that is not a fast path back. Especially for something that's kind of just a silly little mistake. Looks like nothing
and
there.
Again, like... Yeah, Skipper's dead, you love to see. Yeah, so Cube David says, dead Skipper's a dream come true. And yeah, Sledge has some Outer Wilds music.
No, I have the audio on so quietly that I honestly was like, I have no idea what song this is.
Yeah, to be honest, Space Rock, I don't know that statue is actually faster than just the warp to start. It's probably a little faster, but... mind you now, if, like, Sledge gets C-chart here, he's bailed out.
100%.
But that's the... Getting statues, it's so easy to forget. That's nothing, because Skyloft Village was dead.
Thank you, Keys.
Yeah. The most effective weapon against Keys.
You know, it's weird as a casual, I never really understood that, and then I started watching some of the top tier runners doing that. I'm like, wow, that is like so much
It's not
easier.
something you ever would have thought about because you get the weapon kind of late.
Okay.
And, all right, well,
there's the sword he's been hunting for the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty happy about that, though.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
especially, I mean, I'm sure he'll still end up going to, oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Betrow, yeah.
But he'll probably wait now until after Skyview when he gets to 50 crystals.
Yeah, I feel like you clear out the rest of Lanayru, albeit there's not a whole lot left. And then probably head over that way, if I had to guess.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we're kind of about to hit the last things that we haven't seen at this point that both runners can do other than Betrow. And we're now going to see basically Kitcot is doing a bunch of stuff Sledge has done. Sledge is about to go to Farron and do a bunch of stuff that Kitcot has done.
Yep.
We'll kind of have a sense when Sledge finishes Skyview, who's ahead.
Yeah.
Like they diverged a lot, but we're kind of seeing bottleneck is not the right word, but
it was bottlenecky for a while there, but I think we're out of the bottleneck for sure by now.
Yeah. That is another useless item.
Yep.
With Skydead. Skydead and no reason to go turn it in for something expensive on Beetle. I think
we were smack talking the hints earlier, saying that these hints are kind of useless. Look at that.
Yeah. No, and the key piece on Gorko is potentially a big thing for sure. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Sledge goes back after he's done Skyview, but
I feel like Sledge would.
But it's yeah, it's not like 100% clear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless this is C-chart right now, we are going to see Sledge probably warp to start and then go back to Farron. Well, we will see him warp to start and turn that in.
Mm-hmm.
Then go back to Farron. And it's nothing.
Well, unlucky. I do suspect though that Kit will probably follow in Sledge's footsteps, and I mean I feel like you have to double check that. It's right there. Super quick check.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like
yeah.
Like no doubt in my mind that Kit is going to check that.
Yeah.
because it's your warp to start.
Mhm.
And again, when you get down to it, you're not going to have a ton of things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, not gonna have a whole lot to say other than like Sledge might do one trick that Kit did not in Skyview. But yeah, I feel like we're kind of at a weird point where we're just seeing them retrace each other's steps.
Yep. We know pretty much exactly where each runner is going to be here in the next 20-ish minutes. Really, it's just going to come down to what does Sledge do after Skyview?
Yeah, as Cube David points out, we're missing knowledge on 2 crystal packs. Yeah, because Sledge, there's one in Skyview.
Mm-hmm.
There are 13 crystal packs to get you to 65. So. Like, I think because Sledge is not going to want to come back to Farron, he probably will just go down to Sealed Grounds. But it's hard to be 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Yeah, I mean, again,
we can assume what these runners are going to do, but you never know.
Yeah. The other question, too, is does he go and risk the Farron trial? Yeah. Oh, he was checking his sword to be 100%. I think.
I think so. I mean,
even though he knows he has
it.
Skyward Sword because he did Cube War.
And he also
Triforce
has it. Oh. Even though he should have read that it was a mining facility, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing to just be 100% sure.
Oh, 100%. That'd be a very feels bad way to lose a race.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, mispinging is a bad way to lose a race, period.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely a part of the game. Everyone has messed it up. That's kind of what cost Kitcot his round 1 race against Cine. Kind of. That is exactly what cost him that race. Dowsing is really powerful, but because it's so powerful, if you make a mistake, it's really costly.
Yes. Classic Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, it's like... I mean, I know you can mispeak things with chest texture, chest type matches contents, but I feel like it's a lot less common than just misdowsing is.
It's also tough to, like...
Oh. Huh. I had never seen that before. Sorry, I'm just... I didn't know you could use the bomb to hit that crystal.
Today we learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, I think the one thing with dowsing too that makes it different than other games with like chest type or textures, whatever. There's also a lot, like, especially if you have chests that are kind of in the same area, or like, that margin of error is higher in this game, albeit not crazy much, but...
Yeah, I mean, it is. There are a couple places that it's pretty hard to tell chests apart if you're not really experienced, and if you make a mistake, it can be really costly because of that.
For sure.
The other nice thing about this layer of Skyview is there are fewer keys to troll you.
Always love that.
The keys often troll you going for these rupee checks.
Yeah, it turns out the enemy that are meant to be annoying can be very annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're probably going to see Sledge do a little trick, hook beetle bomb trick here. During the Remlets tournament, Sledge and Ray Storm Thunder discovered a lot of like cool little tricks using the beetle in various places, especially here in Skyview. Basically, with bombs, you can blow up the crystal.
Okay.
So, with the hook beetle, you can actually carry a bomb basically through this wall to get this shortcut open. You can do it either this way, or you can just pick up the bomb. And yeah, Sledge didn't even check the last rupee check because he knew that had to be the key, which he was able to skip. So, like, where we're going to be basically is Sledge is going to be finishing up Skyview right around the same time that Kit is finishing up Pirate Stronghold.
Yeah.
So Kit has probably done a few more checks, but they're very tight still.
Yeah. And honestly, like, we're running a little low on checks. Not quite bottleneck yet, but I think we have...
Yeah, I mean...
according to trackers, we have about, like, 15, 20-ish locations, depending on which runner, but...
Yeah, that includes... So what that's going to include is 6 checks in Petro's house for Sledge and 4 for Kit. You can basically clear most of what is on... what you call it? On Skyloft. There are some trials that they won't have marked, but like realistically, you're not going to the Elgin trial until you are bottlenecked at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Again, fair and trial, I think, would be an interesting move for Sledge.
Knowing what we know, I don't hate the play. Obviously, like, we kind of have like God vision of the seed, so
yeah,
it's hard to be like, yeah, go do fair and trial because it is slow.
Yeah, it's just knowing what we know with how many crystal packs there are and how like 3 items in fair and trial. At a certain point in the seed, you could be like, well, 2 of those items are just gonna be crystal packs I don't need. But bottles are dead, wallets are not going to possibly required.
Yeah,
it's the kind of thing that if you took the risk, like, I would not hate it.
Oh, me either.
There are times where taking that risk would be really stupid, but 3 items, 1 is a sword, like, it's not a bad strategic choice. I just don't know that he'll do it. And I can't, like, either move makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was saying, we have God vision, so it's like, to us, it's like, yeah, that seems like a pretty good play, but when you're running these seeds, like, it's not as simple as, oh, let me just go to this kind of risky play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can see Sledge's tracker too, and he's kind of clicking between things.
Yeah.
Like, I think rather than Sealed Grounds, he's probably going to go back to Skyloft.
Yeah, I mean, he has on his tracker 9 checks in Skyloft, so...
Yeah, and like, we obviously know that key piece on Gorko is looming really large.
No, don't get me wrong. Will he probably go back and get that at some point? Yeah. I mean, he has to, but...
How long it is could be a problem for him.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like, Batro makes sense. It is... I mean, in terms of density, it's 6 checks that you're going to get within 30 seconds.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, to just go do the job. And yes, happy a little over 1 hour. Please give our runners a follow. Kitcot and Sledge. Thanks to Sax for commentating with me, and thanks to our wonderful trackers without whom we could not do this, Cube David and Vibrant Viola.
And also shoutouts to Golden for doing the double duty, restreaming and commentating.
I will say this is the easier double duty. Tracking and restreaming.
Oh, tracking is so much harder.
A lot harder. Alright, let's see. Okay.
Oh, please tell me there's no gratitude crystal
classic
pack.
gratitude crystal pack.
And last one.
I think we're gonna see Kit basically come back here. All right, so
okay. Overall, I mean, albeit I don't think Kit is gonna skip that, but
yeah.
as
Seeing
other people
that though
said,
is gonna continue to increase my belief that Fair and Trial is a good place. But that's kind of based on calculating how many items, like of the 3 items, how many could be there. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling Fair and Trial has 2 swords.
I could very possibly see that being the case.
Because there are other items it could be. It could be one of our 2 slingshots. It could be, I mean, fire shield earrings could be possibly required. I think there's 1 bow we know about, and then I can't remember. But
yeah, I haven't been paying super close attention to hints, but pretty sure I think this was just a gratitude pack for Kit here.
Yes.
Say, as you said earlier, Sledge kind of just doing her clear of Skyloft that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get pointed back to Farron after this. Just
I feel like
you're
so low on checks after that.
Thunderhead, probably you do first. Like
probably
you want to greet out Thunderhead till you get White Sword.
Yeah,
but it's kind of hard to greet it fully here.
I feel like at some point you just kind of accept you have to go do it.
Yeah. But like, the nice thing if you're rooting for Sledge at this point is there's not a lot of items that actually open checks up. And so, like, Magomits and Fire Shield Earrings are kind of the 2 that could kind of get him off track. But he's not that far from going to Sealed Grounds, I don't think.
I feel like it's got to be on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, once he does this, I'm just counting, like, basically we're at the point where the runners are essentially equal. And yeah, so Sledge just did some looking at his tracker. He has 15 checks remaining, 14 after this. 7 of them are in Farron, including the 4 in the Farron trial. 4 are in Elden Trial, which we know has a bow and 1 possibly required item. You're not going to go into Elden Trial anytime soon.
No.
Sealed Grounds has 2, and Thunderhead has 3. So he's probably going to Thunderhead. But
yeah,
he's on his tracker right now looking at Farron. These are the things we can see that you all can't because it's crapped out. So I think he's heading down to Sealed Grounds. Whether he's also thinking about Farron Trial is separate. What was that on Skyloft Trial? You read that hint way too quickly.
He read that in, like...
It was progressive something +1.
Beetle?
Beetle. Okay.
Okay.
I think it was not 1 other item. But I'm now...
So again, that's another one. You don't I feel like that's another like late game 50-50 do Elden or Skyloft.
Oh yeah.
Because
I'm just checking his video quickly.
I think it's step 1, but I could
It
have
was
also...
just the beetle, so you're never going to Skyloft trial. I just checked his video.
Ignore that. Yep, we're ignoring that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the only thing that is logically required for, you skipped the logical requirement in Sansi for that sword on the pillar.
I mean, the logical implications of having to do Skyloft trial just to go get that sword are disgusting, but...
Well, it's only possibly required, so you're not...
Sure.
But yeah, if there had been a beetle on top of the other pillar, then it would have been hinted... Could have been hinted required. Not saying would have, because they only need Master Sword, so that's why swords can be possibly required.
True.
But I'm wondering if Sledge is just going to go do the Farron trial here. It's like...
I feel like...
I think he's going to just grab the sword and then do Thunderhead.
Which also makes sense. Kit currently doing Thunderhead.
And nothing
doing. Yep.
I mean, what we're looking at here... So Sledge has 12 locations accessible. 4 are Elden Trial, which you don't want to go to. 4 are in Farron Trial. There is the infamously terrible Kikwi Elder's Reward check.
Oh god. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've seen Kikwi Elder be hard locking stuff, but...
That's, I think, you're going to Farron Trial before you go get that.
Oh, 100%.
What I will say is the fact that that sword is not required at least is telling you whatever... That sword is not bottlenecking something required on the Thunderhead check. But again, if there are 2 swords here in Farron Trial is hard required. But neither sword is required. Because you technically could skip one of them.
Right. See, it'll be interesting to see here.
Yeah, nice heart cancel from Sledge. Saves, I don't know, it's like 20 to 30 seconds.
It's a decent time save, yeah.
Yeah. I do think if you're in Sledge's shoes, you are going to full clear the trial and get the reward.
I think you have to.
Unless you get 2 swords. Like, you are going to go run around and check the items, but with 3 items out of the 4, you have pretty good reason to want to get all of the tiers on the way.
Yeah.
In case your sword is on the reward. This is also a pretty easy trial to kind of route that in, but essentially the routing on trials with these Dusk Relics is the more items that the trial has, the more likely you are to do this and route stuff in. There's sword number 1.
There's our sword.
Yeah, Sledge, I think, wisely gamed this out, that some of these hints are telling you kind of more and more what could be here and what might not be here. Like, it is entirely possible we have 3 swords in this trial. I'm not saying it's likely, but the number of items that are possibly required is kind of diminishing. Like, we could have a fairly barren sand chip and a fairly barren earth temple.
I honestly fully expect at this point that one of the 2 dungeons will be pretty much entirely barren, if not just actually straight up barren.
Yeah. Oh, was that a crystal pack in Farron Trial? I didn't see that.
It was.
So that's our last gratitude crystal pack. So as far as the possibly required items,
You now have two that you're...
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah,
like,
I mean,
there's just not a lot of possibly required items left. There's 2 slingshots. He looked at that.
Technically, a bow.
There's 1 bow. There's 1 beetle.
Yeah.
And then there's swords.
So yeah, I mean, you're...
So, I'll be honest, like, there's gonna be a point where Elden Trial gets appealing. But you really want to skip Elden Trial as long as you can.
Yeah.
But that second item could be a sword.
Yep, it's gonna kind of just depend here on what,
I think Sledge was trying to avoid that. Should be able to get this last tier safely, but he's gonna take some defensive moves. Oh!
Oh no. That is so sad for Sledge.
Yeah, meanwhile, I think Kitcot is looking at Kiku Elder's reward into potentially the trial. And again, like, Kiku Elder's reward makes sense. Sledge now gambling. I think kind of reasonably.
Yep. Yeah, like David's saying in chat, totally reasonable. It sucks, especially if that's required. That's gonna feel terrible. But at this point, it's gonna take you so long to do that one check that...
Oh, 100%.
I 100% would, if I were in his shoes, I would have 100% skipped it too.
Yeah, because Kitcot right now is down to 9 locations accessible, and I think those 9 are the Kiku Elder's reward, the fair and trial item.
You guys can't see this on restream, but Sledge did just put a message on his tracker. If that is a sword, I will be kind of mad.
Yeah.
And you know what? I agree.
I fully understand that. If there's not a sword or if there's not C chart, sword, or the ET key here on Kiku Elders, though, like, Kitcot's not going to be happy. But if this is required, Sledge is about to probably do it after Thunderhead.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, after Thunderhead, Sledge is going to be left with Elden Trial and Kiku Elder's Reward and finishing Fair and Trial.
Yeah, so I mean, your options are super limited at that point.
Yeah, like if this Kiku Elder is nothing, also, we will 100% see Kit go into Fair and Trial.
We very well may see him go into Fair and Trial anyway, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that we're seeing Kit go for this over...
I do think at this point, you can kind of suss out that it's not hinted.
Right.
That there's a decent chance it's not hinted. Because we are still missing a path hint. And the only other hint is... I mean... The only hints we haven't seen at this point are, I think, the 2 in Volcano Summit, which nobody's going to want to do.
Oh, gosh, no.
But, we'll see what is on the White Sword reward here. Oh!
Mids 2, okay.
There were a couple pings in Boko Base.
Yeah.
And Kit is... What was on Kiku Elder? It was earrings.
Earrings. So that's...
We don't know how required earrings are. Because that only locks 4 things in the top of Boko Base. For Kitcot, all it locks are Volcano Summit, which is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Summit's not dead. Oh, why did I think Summit was dead? It's because Summit is always dead. Yeah, earrings will help get hints.
Yeah, and we're so late in the seed at this point that those hints very well could just tell you, hey, here's where your go mode is.
Oh, the Summit dig spot was hinted dead. Yeah, the thing is, like, it's decently likely that Volcano Summit is barren anyway.
Right.
Because it's a 2-check region, so it being barren unhinted is not that abnormal.
Yeah. I don't hate this play from Kitcot.
No. Because there are 2 hints here.
Yeah. Without the hints, I maybe would be a little bit more critical of it, but...
And he just wants to go grab the hint. He's not even dousing here. I think he's seeing the bottleneck and is getting concerned. We are still missing our path to Scaldera.
Which is kind of insane when you think about it, but...
But at this point, it's probably hinting one of the key pieces. And it's almost certainly
gotta be
2 Gossip Stones.
Farron
Woods to Scaldera. Which cannot be the earrings.
Okay.
Getting Farron.
Did we get bombs there?
Okay, well, there is a sword.
So that's good for Kitcot.
Okay, and there's the C chart. Yeah, so Kikwi Elder's bombs were in sealed grounds. Hang on a second.
Oh no.
Was it... What song was in Farron?
Oh.
Like, I'm wondering if there's some weird... I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe there's like a weird beetle path for that sword. But it couldn't have... Like, if 2 beetles were in... It was Din's. I don't... Yeah. No, I don't know.
This is one of those real weird path ends.
Yeah, I don't remember what was there, so I don't know. Gale and Great Tree could have been... Yeah. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Nehru's... Okay, Nehru Trial has a Triforce, plus 1 other item, I think.
Okay.
Sledge should just work to start from here. Because unless... Oh, this chest had something.
To be honest, I honestly totally forgot which chest pinged for what at this point, so...
Where was Ballad? Ballad, I think, was in Skyview.
Ballad, yeah. Or Harp was in Skyview.
Oh. Ballad was in Floria. Thank you, Jim. I'm glad we have Jim here to be smarter than us.
See?
And chat, too.
True.
So, yeah, the Furor's Wind is probably path for
the key piece.
For Ballad, for the key piece on Gorko. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That is...
I'm just going to go clear Sand Chip now.
That is such a weird path, but okay.
Yeah.
Yep, makes sense.
Oh, Sledge is now gonna... Sledge is now gonna see he forgot to grab the statue.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a bit of a... oh crap when you see that, but...
Yeah.
It's definitely not
in a race this close, though, that minute time loss could be...
Yeah.
Rough.
Oh, I guess we go into the trial. Okay.
That makes sense, too. It's got a Triforce, you know you have to do it.
Yep. I was just about to say that. Plus, I think there's one other...
The second item is a sword.
Yeah.
Which there's a decent chance.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a sword here, and there's nothing in upper Boko base, that's really good for Sledge.
For sure.
I just don't know, like, is Sledge gonna gamble the full trial? The Nehru trial is a really... Like, Elden trial, you basically always get the tears on the way, unless there's just one item. Farron trial, you tend to skip the tiers because it's pretty small. This is the hardest trial to route.
Yeah, I honestly, like 99% of the time, still have no idea how to route this. That's true, David.
Yeah, I mean, a sword here potentially lets you skip earrings. If the last Earth Temple key piece is here... Okay,
Okay, well there's a sword. So... That's pretty good for Sledge.
and there's the Triforce. So now, basically, the absolute worst case scenario for Sledge is that the last key piece is in Boko Base Summit. That's like...
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So neither trial was hinted barren.
True.
Or not either trial. Neither dungeon was hinted barren. Mind you, that very well could just be for a slingshot in both.
That would be very annoying, but... I guess depends too, like, ping-wise, where each of the things are. But yeah, Sledge gonna head straight to Sandship. I don't...
Yeah, I mean, for Sledge, Sandship makes sense.
Well, there's the slingshot.
So this is just a heads up, because the runners opted to take breaks. The race time bot didn't work. We are going to see them take their breaks at different times. They're on 10-minute stream delay. Just want to give everyone a heads up for when this happens. Also, snacks in a couple minutes. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically this item here on the Fire Dragon scale could be kind of the make or break point.
Yeah.
But I think there's a very good chance that the ET key piece is here in Sandship. Yeah, Sledge. That is the combo lock chest, because Sledge is about to do mass skip. That's why he's saving here. So I'll explain the trick when he does it. But if the chest on the stern had something, it would have been good. And that was also, the key piece was not there in Boko Base, so Sledge is going to get away without getting...
Ooh, a few different pings here for Sledge.
Yeah, very good chance that boss key is there, both small keys.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Space, I don't know how to do either masked skip, so... But, yeah, it was 3 pings. There are 6 chests down there in a couple places. So, there's the treasure room and the 4-door corridor. So, at this point, we see Sledge entering Sandship ahead of Kitcot. And so what Sledge is doing is taking a death out of bounds here. And what it does is it will send him back to the statue with the mast activated, which means you do not have to climb the mast, but you have to exit and re-enter. And it will essentially skip the mast sequence.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to climb all the way up. And I think Kit is doing the same. So what we'll see is Sledge can activate the mast here. Although he's not doing it. He forgot to. That's why.
I think he realized now that he's got to go do that.
Yeah. There are other ways to do mast skip. In the Remlets tournament, you had small keys. And yeah, we see Kitcot taking his break here, his 5-minute break. So we have a bot in race time chat that's supposed to ping them. For whatever reason, it did not. They wanted to take a break 90 minutes. So we're kind of going to see staggered breaks here. What that means is Sledge will take a 5-minute break, just like Kitcot did. Sledge is going to take the break after Kitcot has finished his. But yeah, the only Sandship hint that we got was Skirvo, so we're probably going to see them full clear the whole Sandship, do the full puzzle. You really like when you get the hint for the robot on the brig, but alas, we did not get that. But not much to say. Sandship is a pretty linear dungeon.
Yep.
Kid is not DNFing. So the runners are taking breaks. The bot to tell them when to take the break did not activate. Sledge did not take the break, so they're just taking it at different times.
Yep, so Kid's going to be doing his 5-minute break, and then Sledge will be doing his break pretty soon after, like right after, whatever.
Yeah, basically Sledge is going to start the break around 1:36 on the timer.
Okay. Yeah, it is a certainty at this point that
for sledging, Earth Temple is going to be go modable. It probably has the last slingshot or the last bow.
Yeah, some sort of Baron blocker that we don't really care about, but
yeah. Oh, and Sledge was so the robot on the brig had the second small key. Sledge was able to suss that out, which is why he skipped that check. Oh no, he got the small key before he did the treasure room. Never mind. Sorry, I got a message I had to respond to.
Oh, good. So Kitcot is currently in the middle of a 5-minute break. So the droners did initially agree at 1 hour 30 minutes they were going to do a 5-minute break.
The bot, to remind them and ping them, did not fire.
Yep. So the Sledge will be taking a break here in about a minute and a half or so. And then kind of like right as Kitcot's coming out of his break. So no FPA or anything, but
it's sometimes the race time bots don't activate. So Sledge in about a minute is going to take his 5-minute break.
Yep. Yeah. Feelings for that positive, I know. I mean, there's always the chance of,
Yeah, no, that makes no sense. Okay, so now Sledge sussed out. He got his ET key piece. He is in go mode.
Yep.
Obviously, small key is on the brig. Yeah, Kit is going to have to do Linear Silent Realm. We'll see what he does about the sword there. Because of where the Triforce is, there's a decent chance that Kit leaves and doesn't get the sword. I actually think pretty good chance that Kit leaves and does not get the sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's going to honestly totally depend on if Kit does route it correctly, then it'll be okay, but
Linear Silent Realm is really tricky. And
yeah.
the sword being where it is. And the Triforce being where it is.
They aren't exactly...
It could decide, I know where my final sword is. I'm just going to do fair and trial.
Yeah. No. Just because you said that, Crystal.
No. Crystal's our boss.
G-Devil, you're supposed to not do it.
I know, but I like Crystal. Also, she can fire me. So. I'm just doing this so I don't get fired.
Look at this. Look at this guy sucking up to the boss. What the heck?
Yeah.
Listen, Crystal, I know. I'm just being an ass.
But yeah, I mean, we're kind of at the point, like, Kit is probably going to do the same thing Sledge did, which is check the boss key chest while he's doing the puzzle. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, the runners are going to be leaving Sandship very close to the same time. But Sledge is clearly ahead.
Really, this race is just going to come down to...
Although it knows where the final Triforce is, yes.
Yes.
The final Triforce is in the Nehru Trial. It was hinted when he got the Nehru song. but he is missing a sword. We
Which
know where both swords are.
Yep.
One is in Farron Trial, which was directly hinted, and one was in the Lineru Trial, which was not directly hinted. In Kitcot's shoes, there is a very good chance that he is just going to skip the rest of, depending on how he routes the Lineru Trial. Pretty good chance he skips the sword there. Because once he gets this key piece, he is effectively in go mode. Like, he knows the items to beat the seed. The final sword, for whatever it's worth, was in Volcano Summit, which was locked by the Fire Shield earrings on the Kikwi Elder. Which is a pretty rough place to be 100% unhinted.
Yeah. Now this seed had a couple really like more annoying things like that. I wouldn't say bad, but just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's... If something had been required that was hard locked by the Fire Shield earrings, Kit would have been in a really good position. Kikwi Elder's Reward is a really hard check to decide when to do it or not, because it is hinted in about 50% of the seeds. Because you get about half of the sometimes hint locations. Mm-hmm. But also, one of the path hints was Farron Woods. And that path hint can eat the sometimes hint. So if your path item is on the Kikwi Elder's Reward, you will not get the sometimes hint. Which is like, these are the weird quirks of the hint logic that you have to understand. Oh, Kit. Okay.
He's good.
Did he save at the statue?
Oh.
He is thinking about death warping out of the treasure room. But I don't know where he last saved. Because usually if you want to do the death warp,
I sure hope he saved there.
Save by the boss key door before you do it.
Honestly, I don't remember. Ping. I guess we'll find out here in a minute, but
yeah, he could take the lifeboat down if he was on the deck.
True.
But yeah, I mean, this is, I would say, pretty clearly Sledge's race to lose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna see Sledge do the Tendless skip RBM here. Because he does not have to fight Tendless. So Kit has a face cam. I want to see what his face says when he gets this. Nope, that is very stoic, Kit.
It's usually... I very rarely see Kit have like a major reaction to stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I think this is the first RBM we've seen all seed. So, essentially, what's happening is... as Pix would say, you are gaslighting the game. You are going to set some memory while you're in the back in time state. And then you're going to load your file. You're going to load your file and then set the flag. So the game is going to think you're setting the flag on your game file. In this case, it is the flag for defeating Tenless. So you actually will not have to do the boss fight. But you have to have this bit magic file set up. I don't remember if Kitcot does, but he's going for it. Yeah,
He for sure set it up.
Yeah. And essentially the flag for this is triggering the Petro 30 dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
The entire reason that this dialogue has not been removed from this version of the randomizer is for that. So Kitcot is missing a sword and a Triforce piece. He knows where they both are. The Triforce piece is in the Linearu trial. One sword is in the Linearu trial unhinted, but the last sword is hinted in the Farron trial. So Kitcot is almost certainly going... The question is, will Kitcot get the sword in Linearu trial, or will he wait in the Farron trial? No, Sledge is ahead. Sledge is very clearly ahead at this point, because Sledge has everything he needs, so he doesn't have to go into any trials.
Yeah, I mean, this is easily Sledge's race to lose.
Yeah, it's a pretty big margin, I would say. Like, it is on the scale of minutes.
Yeah. Even if Sledge has a really bad horde, or something happens, I still feel like Sledge will.
It would be hard for Sledge to lose this race.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but
we've definitely seen it where runners have had bigger leads and have accidentally had stuff happen and lose, but yeah, this is definitely his race to lose.
Yeah, and so you saw Sledge got to the top, did not have to fight Tenless. The one thing that does do is it wipes out the heart container from being collected, which is why you really only do that trick when you're in go mode and you know you need nothing, because it hard locks you out of getting a check.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree, Chloe, but obviously huge credits to Sledge. He's played the seed really well overall. A couple maybe very minor nitpicky things you could criticize him on, but nothing like, oh, he really screwed this up. Like, it's fine. Kid's got to start grinding for Wind Waker season. Or yeah, season 8. I don't know why I forgot what season we were in Wind Waker.
I mean, we'll see if Kid enters mini blends too.
Yeah.
Wind Waker mini blends is about to start.
I know, I'm not personally going to do it, but
I am not either. I could because I'm out, but racing is hard.
I just have no motivation to do it.
Yeah. Racing is hard on people's mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the winner of this best of 3 plays the winner of Cube David versus Pac-Man Power Ghost.
Yep.
Okay,
Jesus,
so
David.
that's our Baron blocker, is our last beetle.
That'll do it.
I will give you the bracket command to check out the bracket. Yeah, we're going to see another RBM here in Earth Temple because we know they don't have to go through the lava tunnel. So they're going to do an RBM to skip it.
Quick grab this check because we pinged it.
Now, while it is not a Baron blocker, but
yeah.
He's probably going to do the RBM before doing the
Yep, looks like he's setting up for it
chest
right now.
to fight. Because I actually think potentially...
Excuse me. Alright, kid. Moment of truth.
Yeah. So, again, the question here is, does he see where the Triforce is and get it first? Because of where it is, it's really close to the beginning. But I think he's actually going to get the sword.
Yep, so... a little bit more of a race now.
Still, though, pretty solid. Kit,
he just
peeked the sword and skipped it.
Kit?
That was the sword, right?
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
I think he's just so focused on it's not the Triforce that he might not have actually looked at what the item was. Like, genuinely.
Oh, no.
Because I think in
no.
Kit's shoes, he knows he's in go mode. The problem for Kit, though, now is the Triforce is actually at the beginning of the trial. Like, right near the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But he's now gonna clear the full trial, I think. No, he's not.
No, he's headed back towards it.
Yeah, he's gonna go grab.
I like go mode syndrome. That's a good way to explain that.
Yeah, you're so hyper focused. Go mode blindness is a good one, Chloe. We'll have, I don't know, maybe we won't have a laugh with Kit. I think Kit has enough good humor that he'll laugh about it.
Yeah.
That'll
absolutely be one of the first questions I will ask, though, because I'm sure that's what happened, but.
You think he realized now? No. He's collecting all of the tears. Because he's thinking the Triforce is there. Like, he's not going to be happy when he sees the Triforce where it is. But yeah, I mean, so if Kit had skipped Kikwi Elder and kind of not gotten drawn into everything that was earrings locked, I think this would have been a really close race. Mm-hmm. I also can't really fault him for doing it when he did.
At that point, we were so bottlenecked that it was like, it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just randomizers in general. Like,
yeah, especially because those magma myths were also. Where were the? Oh, the magma myths were on. That's right.
Were they on White Sword?
They were on the White Sword item in Thunderhead, so
yeah.
He needed a sword. And I think he really didn't want to go into the trial, which I can't blame him. It just kind of happened. There were two trials that were equally accessible for swords. Like, it's one of those things that the decision making makes sense when you look at why he did what he did with the checks he had and the items he had. It just kind of ended up not really working out.
Yeah.
Is this vanilla boss key? Again, like, makes sense that Sledge checked everything before it.
Oh, of course.
Because those 2 checks don't douse, and with their being bait, you don't want to risk it. But yeah, so I don't know if Kitcot is going to finish. Or I don't know if Kitcot is going to hit go mode before Sledge finishes. It'll be... I think he might, but it'll be pretty close.
It'll be close, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Sledge is a solid 4 to 5 minutes ahead.
At least, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like ultimately missing that sword in the trial is not necessarily going to be like is not the thing that cost him the race, just kind of an unfortunate thing after he was already behind. Because with what he did, that probably kind of adds another couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sledge was already 4 or 5 minutes ahead. And yeah, I mean, Sledge with Master Sword is going to make Scaldera a lot faster as well. Yeah, it does do twice as much damage.
All right, so Kitcot kind of set up the RBM here.
Yep. Yeah, Sledge gonna have a pretty easy time with Scaldera, I think. As long as you get enough hits on this first one with Master Sword, it is a pretty easy fight.
That should be good enough for...
And yeah, and that should do it. Actually, not the fastest Scaldera. Because there's a way to do it, but this might be fine. Okay, yeah.
That's still pretty quick.
Solid 2 cycle.
Yep.
And yeah, Sledge just has to go do Horde G3 demise. But yeah, I mean, this is so barring kind of disaster, Sledge is going to take out Kitcot here relatively early in the tournament. This is the 2 seed versus the 4 seed this early in losers bracket is definitely surprising.
Yeah, I don't think
Sledge is like, if you looked at his qualifier times, the way he's been playing, Sledge has been playing really well and improving a lot, and like I think anyone would say forced to be reckoned with.
For sure. I mean, it's kind of cool to see how many like top tier runners there are, even just in losers bracket already, which is kind of insane in any tournament. But
yeah, I mean, so like this is kind of meta in the Remlets tournament. There was kind of a clear I would say like a clear top 3, which was Jim, Yal, and Jaznix. Kitcot didn't play in Remlets. But in the qualifiers, like, okay, Gymnast kind of blew everyone away. But then from like 2 to 9, there was actually a fair amount of people close to each other. So, basically anyone in the top 9 can kind of beat anyone else. And so it's going to make the last few rounds of the tournament really exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you see Kitcot doing the same thing. He could douse the boss key chest, but still...
I think at this point he knows that it's got to be... I need to get much better about these almost quick kills.
I mean, those alphas quick kills, it takes a little practice.
Yeah.
But it's pretty consistent. The Fire Sanctuary one, the double was alphas room there, is the hardest one.
Yeah.
This room is pretty easy, especially if you have the bow to kind of aggro them and skip the cutscene, so you're only fighting one at once. You can do it with Slingshot too, but it's harder. It's a little precise to get the Slingshot.
Gotcha. Alright, so this is a bit of a metagame moment, but we did see Sledge practicing his horde before the race today, so we'll see how it goes for him. But
yeah, horde skip is an easy thing to practice, kind of while you're waiting for seed to generate, building stream delay. This first phase of horde, you cannot use Skyward strikes on these capped Bokos without true Master Swords. You just, kind of like we did at the beginning of the game, you have to alternate side slashes on them.
Yep.
On not that many hearts, this is a little tricky because it's very easy to take some hits. Much better, though, with single damage instead of double damage. Horde, when we used to play with double damage, is really a killer. Especially because there used to also be no heart spawns.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We're now going to see horde skip, and that is a clean.
Perfect.
So the reason we didn't play single damage is because until late 2020 or like early 2023, they didn't decouple the modes, and the hero mode Skyward Strike is really important for certain things. And so they chose to play on hero mode, but hero mode at that time meant no heart spawns, double damage. You basically always picked up a fairy before horde.
Yeah,
it was. Horde is the reason we don't play double damage still, even with heart spawns.
I was gonna say, I saw many runners who either died to horde or had to like play it super safe.
It's with practice you can get a consistent horde. Even a consistent horde, it is really easy to die.
Yes,
because the Bokos just kind of kill you. Like, it's very easy in the first phase, especially, for you to get hit by Bokos while you're focused on the capped Bokos. If you miss horde skip, that gets you to the worst phase by far. Yeah, Kit doing different Scaldera strats because he has a lower sword.
Yep.
But knows how to do them consistently. Basically using these bombs to keep Scaldera down so he doesn't run up. Unfortunately, I think got one extra hit on this phase.
I think so.
If he'd gotten one fewer hit, he would have been fine. But The different Scaldera strats are hard to learn because there's a different strategy for every sword level.
Yep.
And nice stun lock there. Very nice phase 2.
Yeah, so far this Horde / Girahim has been super clean by Sledge.
Yeah, and so Kit is probably going to be like landing in Farron around when Sledge finishes.
Assuming Demise fight goes well, yeah.
I mean, he might actually be in the sky still at this point. Because we're probably about 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, assuming. Although so far, Demise's fight's been going great, but.
Yes. The special particles that Ray Storm Thunder is talking about were done by him. It's a very cool feature.
Oh, I didn't realize.
That's his mod.
Shoutouts to Ray Storm.
That is GG's to Sledge.
GG's to Sledge. Final time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 16 seconds.
Yep. And we're going to pull both of them in for an interview.
Let's do it.
GG, Sledge, and Kit.
GG's, guys.
I want to start just with something kind of funny before we get into the more serious things. Kitcot, you looked right at the Sword in Lanayru trial and just didn't grab it.
Oh no.
That was not like the deciding point, but it was just a funny moment. I figured I'd start with some levity.
Oh, that was the... Oh, okay. No, I remember now. Okay, my brain thought it was like something unimportant, like a key or something. As if that's fucking possible. I already got the other key, but yeah, that's actually pretty funny.
We just assumed it was go mode brain. Like, all right, I know I have a sword on Fair trial. Like, yeah. I'm just gonna go there and grab it, but.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to see a sword there, especially as like it wasn't even. I mean, it was kind of in the hints, but it wasn't. So like that trial was the last place I was gonna expect a sword. So I just my brain just went, oh, that doesn't look like a Triforce, so don't need it. Yeah, okay, that's actually pretty funny.
What did you two think about the scene? Well, we'll start there after the moment of levity.
It was alright.
I greeted a lot for the sword, to finish Sky View.
That was, I mean, it ended up paying off, but because what you were, I think it was like 45 minutes before you found that sword, something like that.
That was a whole adventure, but I think most of my routing went pretty well. I think there were a few moments for me where my execution wasn't quite as good as I'd hope, like in Farron Trial. That was a bit unfortunate, but it didn't end up mattering. I didn't get the statue in Sansea and like a few other small things. Like my ET wasn't the best, but overall I think it went okay. I don't have any oh, actually one thing was the sword in Farron Trial and I don't remember what was on Thunderhead White Sword, but it was something important.
That was Magma Myths, and that I would say was probably the decider in the race.
Yeah.
Was you going into Farron? So you went into Farron Trial. Kitcot went to Kikwi Elder to get Fire Shield earrings on Kikwi Elder.
That was earrings.
So the last sword that you did not get was the chest in Volcano Summit.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me on that one, I always if something is like possibly required, my like instinct is I just try to I try to skip it if I can. Found Trial was a little bit more interesting this time because there were like 3 things on there, but because in my mind they were all possibly required, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna still hope that I don't need any of these things. So I really like even now I never actually got the Farron Trial sword. That's where I would have gone for Go mode, but instead this seed it didn't end up treating me very nicely because then that led me over the fucking wild goose chase to get the
Wild goose chase.
get the
Oh my God.
get the Mogrovitz, yeah. Excuse my
Yeah.
French, of course, but yeah.
Oh, it's fine. No, literally nobody's gonna yell at you if you accidentally let a little swear.
Okay, yeah. I'm just doing it excessively.
Swear
yeah.
every sentence. Maybe not that, but okay.
But yeah, no, it's yeah, I think honestly that was like the rough part of for me this seed was just getting that massive bottleneck into that massive chain. It didn't feel great playing it, and I knew, okay, if Sledge somehow found a way to get out of this, then you know he might be running circles around me, and I think that's what has happened. But
To be fair, that whole seed was just very like there were a couple pretty big bottleneck moments, and then you found like every
Yeah.
item you needed, and then it's like, well, the entire game's open. Have fun.
yeah. Definitely felt like kind of one of those. It felt
Yeah.
like one of those seeds where like the casino was in the middle. I felt, at least for me, because I was in that massive bottleneck. As far as endgame goes, it didn't really seem that bad because I found everything I needed like in Sandship. By the time I was done with Sandship, I was like in Go.
Yeah, it follows that like season 3 pattern where you kind of get a bottleneck. You kind of get stuff in the early game, then you get a bottleneck in the mid game, and then the end game ends up being kind of linear and not much of a casino anyway.
Yeah.
That kind of happened with the seed.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, the reasoning behind me going into Farron Trial was, well, at that point I had very limited options left. I knew there was a sword in there because the hint, and I was like, I don't want to go to Thunderhead with Longsword because of this. And since there was 3 possibly required items, I was like, well, there's a chance there's another completed it, but then I died and decided to not complete it. But I went there basically because of that, and also because at that point I had 2 Triforces, and so I thought the chance that the sword is going less likely than usual. So yeah, I just kind of went for it, and it ended up paying off, which was good. Also, to be fair to Kit, swords are really, really hard to peek sometimes. The angle of their model can just get so wonky.
They're just like their little sticks of grey. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard.
It was not. We're not. Just to be clear, we're trying not to give Kit a hard time. It was like a funny moment when we were.
Yeah.
Because we knew where it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, that was kind of just like a oopsies on my end. Like,
Yeah.
but again, it's like in the moment I'm in Go, I know where I'm going. I'm thinking about the sword over there, not the sword over here. So I just, when you're not thinking about things, you kind of miss things,
Oh, I can't even talk. I've done that so many times. Not so much in Skyward Sword, but in other Zeldas, like you get into that mindset of like, oh, okay, I know exactly where I need to go to finish. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not whatever item I'm looking for. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna ignore it.
It's
yeah.
It's that state of being hyper focused onto something and just ignoring everything else.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, I went Nehru's Trial before Sandship because I was like, well, it's required +1, so there could be another required item in there. So it could be like a key piece or a sword.
Yeah.
So I went for that, and then that ended up working out very well.
Yeah, actually,
I
watched commentary wise, we were like, okay, so there's a possibly required item there. What are the odds it's just like a shard or like a key shard or something? But
is that possible? I always thought that if something was possibly required and like there was something else that those other things would also be possibly. I didn't think it was possible for something to be hinted possibly required and there to be had required other things on it.
No, you're right. We were trying to figure out what other possibly required items there could be, because bottles couldn't be bottles could not be possibly required. Wallets could not be possibly required. And you all had seen all of the gratitude crystals at that point.
Right, yeah.
Because I think there was one in Fair and Trial that Sledge saw. So we had seen all of them. So we were down to... So we were thinking, like, there's a decent chance either there's multiple swords in Fair and Trial, or there's a sword in Limited Trial.
Right.
Yeah, on my tracker, I'm missing both slingshots, a bow, and one more crystal pack, which I assume you guys saw on Restream.
Which one did you not grab?
I don't remember.
I've got 60. I've tracked 60 crystals that I've peeked.
It might have been the one that was in Fair and Trial, or that we think was in Fair and Trial.
Probably was. That's the one I'm missing. Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not that it's all that important, but
This is kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Before I say my final words, I just want to say, definitely GG's to Sledge. I'm very proud of you with how much you've honestly improved over the last insert short amount of time here. Like seeing that from my point of view has been absolutely phenomenal. And I hope that this win here gives you a lot of confidence going forward for the rest of the tournament. And I hope you make it far, honestly.
Oh, I appreciate that so much, Kit. I love this community. And I played a lot of Skyward Sword in the last 15 months. But there are so many people in this tournament who are great players, and I definitely wasn't expecting to win today. I was totally expecting it to go to a game 3, but even though you got knocked out now, that doesn't take away from how much you achieved as well. So yeah, definitely GG's.
Yeah, and honestly, from my point of view, it's very strange being knocked out this early. I don't think in my entire speedrunning career I've ever been knocked out of a tournament this early, and it's kind of weird, but it frees me, gives me more time to commentate, and honestly, I'm looking forward to just being a spectator for the rest of the tournament and really rooting for you guys. So yeah, new experience, but yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, definitely, it's gonna be fun watching how the rest unfolds for sure.
Well, with that, then it sounds like we are going to wrap up. So please give both of our runners a follow, Kitcot and Sledge. Oh, I guess we should mention Sledge will go on to face the winner of Pac-Man Power Ghost versus Cube David, which is still going on. But with that, please give our runners a follow. Thank you to our two wonderful trackers, without whom this would not be possible, Cube David and Vibrant Viola. And thanks to Snacks for commentating with me. There's a lot on the ZSR schedule tomorrow. Link to the Past, OTR, Season 8 Losers Bracket is late, plus a Skyward Sword race at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then 3 races, I think, on Sunday, only 2 which will get a restream. So stay tuned to the ZSR channels this weekend, and have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yep, have a good night, everyone.